What's up, YouTube? This is FoxHawk Gaming. I'm Lucas.
I'm Cole.
And today we're going to be giving our State of the Meta address, where we talk about the most successful and frequent decks being played in the World Championship Qualifier 2017. So we're going to start out with talking about the deck to beat.
Yeah, what's running the meta?
So Harpies has always been a top deck, and it has ascended past its fellow top tier.
We believe it's top of the top now.
Yeah, it's at least the deck to beat. We're not saying that it can't be beaten, but it's definitely the deck that everyone's got their eyes set on. This defines if your deck is competitive. You need to beat Harpies.
Yeah, and it's so versatile now. Like, you can change up cards. Mostly the last, five?
The last five, the trap cards.
Yeah, the other part is kind of set in stone a little bit.
Yeah, so me and Cole ran very similar Harpies decks when we played them in the ladder, and 9 monsters is about right, because this deck wins by getting one or two monsters out and protecting and disrupting. So order to charge enemy controllers, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's the 5 traps that really set this deck apart now.
Why do we think it's the top now? What changed?
So, before, Gravekeepers had a pretty good chance against Harpies. Harpies had some things it could do, but the Soul Exchange tempo swings were a little too much, and Dimension Gate came out. Yeah. Now, Dimension Gate is what changed everything.
Just for the record, I only have one. Usually these decks run 2.
Yeah, we've seen 3, but I think 2 is a healthy
2 is a good
number, because mainly it's used to counter Gravekeepers and Relinquished.
Yeah. And you can even dodge other econs and everything else too, so it's just really good. Yeah, it's usable in other matchups, but it's mainly for Gravekeepers and Relinquished. That's what makes it playable. So what it can do in any matchup is that you can use Econ, steal your opponent's monster, Dimension Gate it out, and now it's yours forever when it comes back. That trick is so annoying.
Yeah, and Soul Exchange was a problematic card. Relinquished could be a problematic card back in the day for any deck.
To just
if you didn't have the right setup. So now it's just Harpies has meted against the other top tier, and it's
such a good addition.
The top deck now.
And not to mention that the switcheroo nerf already impacted those decks to begin with.
Yeah, it already impacted Relinquished.
Now where they have a good card to counter them, it's just Harpies is tier 1, definitely.
Yeah, so basically, Harpy, if you're running this, you need to be smart about deck construction, because the deck that wins isn't going to be set in stone. It's going to be teching against other matches.
Oh yeah, during the qualifiers, I'm sure we're going to be switching these out all the time.
Oh yeah, like Wild Tornado is amazing against Harpies and Weevil.
Yeah.
Mirror Wall is amazing against any beatdown, even 3-star Demotion and the Harpy mirror match.
Yeah.
Windstorm is amazing in the mirror match.
And then Dimension Gate's good for all those decks that you are having trouble with beforehand.
Yeah, it's good for the old tier 1, which looks like it's being wrestled a little bit right now.
So, speaking of those older top tier decks, what do you want to check now?
Let's take a look at Relinquished.
Yeah, so we think Relinquished is probably best done with Harpies now. Restart, Bandit Keith Relinquished, Turbo Relinquished, whatever you want to call it, where it was just all Relinquished. I tried that out a couple times. It's lacking so much now without the switcheroo pluses.
I think it's seen success.
I mean,
but
it's still good. It's just not even near what it used to be.
It's not the deck I'd run into this using. And
the Harpies is way better now.
Dimension Gate against the Keith.
Yeah, exactly.
The Keith restart version or anything.
That's what I was hitting. I was hitting that problem. Towards Platinum when I got with my Relinquished deck. I was just playing it for fun, because I was just switching decks every so often, and then all of a sudden they start running Dimension Gates and it's becoming a popular thing. I'm like, oh snap, that's a really crazy counter for that, and I didn't play it anymore.
Yeah, so the reason Harpies looks like it's a decent choice if you want to run Relinquished is because you have a chance to pop the Dimension Gate.
Definitely.
So other than that, it's the same old deck. we've seen. We think the Harpies version is what we would be on.
Definitely.
Prepared for. Now, Gravekeepers is still pretty potent.
Here's the standard, I think, Duel Links meta version-ish. No, he has a different one-of card.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
It's the standard build, though.
Gravekeepers are gonna be pretty standard. We're trying to show stock lists here, not very meted ones. But it's still strong. It's just Gravekeepers is having some issues in dealing with the Dimension Gates.
The Dimension Gate using Soul Exchange, it's just, it's so horrible when that happens.
Oh yeah, you're way too far behind at that point.
You have to skip that combat and you missed out on that kill. Slash sacrifice.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good matchups.
So with that being said, do you think the King Halo version?
Oh yeah, let's talk about the King Halo version. I haven't gotten to play Gravekeepers because I lack the Chiefs. Shizu just won't drop them, but
I didn't play it as much as I love Soul Exchange as a card in Gravekeepers, but now that it's being countered so hard, I might go in harder with this deck.
I mean, this is a very targeted version.
I'm gonna play stuff and I'm gonna play it fast, and if I don't do it, I lose. Probably.
Yeah, this is almost an aggro version.
Yeah, glass cannon as hell.
Yeah, which we love. Yeah. We love King Halo and his double summon shenanigans, and this deck definitely takes advantage of it. We're not sure if it'll see success because losing Soul Exchange is losing a lot of matchups.
Yeah, it's very useful against a lot of other decks besides the ones that don't use Dimension Gate.
Yeah, this is very targeted, saying I'm going into a Dimension Gate meta. So we'll probably be testing that out a little bit on the final qualifiers.
Just have to see what the ladder is.
Yeah.
But with Harpies climbing the ladder so much, what got its comeback?
So this is the point where, if you watched our previous meta analysis, you'll know that we placed Weevil at tier 2. Now the reason for this before was because Gravekeepers is a problem matchup. It is such a problem matchup.
Yeah, you can't land a mask on anybody. You can't have face downs half the time. You get screwed. It's awful.
Yeah, but Harpies is almost, I can't say pushing out Gravekeepers, but it's definitely lost some of Gravekeepers' edge. Why you chose Gravekeepers before was it's pretty good against Harpies.
Yeah, so
in general.
And now that Harpies is up there, 3 Burning Lands, Weevil has
Weevil is
very popular.
Weevil is the counter pick, and I'd almost say that this is our control deck of the format now.
There are control decks.
Yeah.
In a Duel Links. I don't know.
As far as Yu-Gi-Oh goes, this is pretty control-y. The Burning Lands are so amazing against Mai.
Yeah, it's always great getting that first turn. Just boop.
Yeah, just having the 2000 defense, Cocoons of Evolution, and just saying, get through it.
I'm a little on the Cocoon just because everybody has 3 econs now and whatnot, but...
Yeah, but your whole thing is you have to manage their board as well.
Definitely not...
If they have 2 monsters, you're gonna want to have an econ as backup, or a Mask of the Accursed on them, like...
Yeah, you can do a lot of... What I also like about Weevil is you can do a lot... You can change a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Switch things up a ton.
Yeah, these decks can be switched up a ton. We showed that with the Gravekeepers.
Weevil can do the Pum Princess thing. You can do the... A lot of people are trying the Lady Assailant because it counters other Weevils because you can flip it and then get rid of their Parasite on top of your deck. And yeah, I mean, it's not 100%, but I've done it. It's really nice. And he did not see it coming.
Yeah. And I've been big on Lady Assailant. It's
a good card.
That's a really good card.
Especially in Weevil Burn now.
But yeah, I mean, it's just too backbreaking against Harpies to be given a dead draw, to be given a 2000 attack monster, or defense monster to get through. this is a counter pick, and it's seeing a lot of King of Games now.
Yeah, and it's definitely gotten better because of Gravekeepers going a little south.
Yeah, I mean, there's not as much reason to choose Gravekeepers. It's one of my favorite decks.
Oh yeah, I love playing it. It's just,
but
it's not what it used to be.
With that Harpies matchup going down, Weevil's got reason to thrive now.
Yeah. So, what else is there?
So I think as of right,
ooh, star. We almost forgot.
We almost forgot just because.
Let's try. I think this is the better version, honestly. I enjoy playing it more.
Yeah, let's talk about 3-star Demotion. So this had probably the most hype going into the tournament.
Oh yeah, it's because it's a brand new skill and it seemed OP.
It did seem OP. Really, it seems like a very aggressive aggro deck, and honestly, from my experience, I've seen it have some issue with Harpies, which isn't really where I want to be going in with the deck. But yeah, even against me, I've had them do the thing where they do the first turn Dark Magician Girl, double Dark Magicians, and then you defend against it with like a Windstorm. You bait out the Champion's Vigilance, then you econ for the Dark Magician and crash in their Magicians. I mean, there's just a lot you can do against it.
Yeah, if you can bait their Vigilance, you definitely can make it an easy win.
Here's the biggest weakness of this deck, I think, is that the Vigilance is key to controlling the flow of your game, but Order to Charge is the biggest removal right now.
Yeah.
And what do you do when they have a handful of cards, a monster on the field, and they drop an Order to Charge? It tributes their monster on resolution. So do you give up your monster, or do you chance that they're about to econ one-shot you? See, that's the issue I've had with the deck, is that it's got problems against the most common removal cards.
I do love it when it just goes off, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, it forces your opponent to have something. Yeah. And I've had games where I've had nothing.
Yeah.
So, good deck? Yeah.
Yeah, I used it like all the way up through silver.
Oh, nice.
Just for fun. But then I didn't like it that much.
Oh, really?
So I just stopped.
Yeah.
I think this is the other
so,
one.
generic 3-star beats, and this one we actually got from a Facebook group in which people were posting their King of Games decks, and I think it's on the Duel Links meta website as well. So this is another variation.
Instead of the Tornado, though, try Dimension Gate.
Oh yeah. Cole doesn't have Dimension Gates because
I'm a scrub.
Yes.
And the bald guys did not help me out.
Farming takes skill.
But yeah, we got Joanne and the Barrel Dragons and Sangha.
Yeah, Sangha of the Thunder. So
they're just good cards to put down with your 3-star Demotion.
Yeah, messing around with this deck, one thing I absolutely loved is I played against this deck a few times, some variation of it.
I never played against this version.
It's a pretty interesting version because one thing I noticed is I went up against one and he immediately set face down after he used his 3-star Demotion. I'm like, what could that be? Mm-hmm. And then I thought, and I'm like, oh, it's a Sangha. So he was protected against Econ.
Yeah.
And his whole plan was to defend with the Dimension Gates, and then storm me out and go out for a kill with Joanne or a Barrel Dragon and a Sangha.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it seems alright.
You got the storms in there for back row.
Yeah, I think it's powerful enough to see a lot of play.
I might try it later on, but the Dimension Gate seems like a big part of it.
Yeah, so you know what I actually think our current meta is shaped around? It's shaped around everyone has to play around these 3-star beats. Because if you don't have removal against them, you just lose. Relinquished got nerfed. Yeah. Harpies is the removal deck. It just seemed natural for Harpies to take the king spot.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so
other than that, we got we have the Cancer decks and the Road decks.
That's what I would call the pillars of the format.
Yeah, those are
definitely Harpies.
Pillars.
Yeah, Harpies is where all the gravity forms around right now, and these other decks are there because of Harpies or because of 3-star Demotion, I think.
And then, I mean, you're gonna run into what do you call it? There's that Taya Burn deck in the meta right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to say. You can lose against it hard, or you can win against it hard.
Not really.
Yeah.
You win or lose.
Yeah. Although, have you seen a Taya Burn player that actually bluffs things? Like, if they don't have 4,000 in their hands, they start setting things to make it look like they have a bunch of attack and receive damage, so you play around a little differently.
I've had people try.
I've had people try too, but I found the best part is you just got column on it.
Yeah, basically. Last Gamble. Oh, we mentioned that.
Oh yeah, we can mention Last Gamble. I think it's more rogue than anything because I don't think a lot of people are on it because
I don't have Last Gamble, so I can't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of RNG that goes into it. I have never really been a fan. I've been playing a Dimension Gate Last Gamble Blue Eyes build that's pretty alright, but still, the deck seems to win or lose on its own from the dice roll. And if I'm trying to go as many games as possible winning in a row, I don't want to depend on a lot of RNG.
With a lot of Weevil now, that Last Gamble's kind of scary.
Yeah, it can be. It can be.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I would hate being at 100 life points just against a Weevil deck.
Against Weevil, you don't Last Gamble unless
you have to.
Unless you have to. I mean, I used Blue Eyes Last Gamble, so I would just use their parasites to summon Blue Eyes.
Another rogue-ish deck that I love is the Luck on Your Side. I played this a ton and almost got to King of Games with it.
Cole has been running this for a little while, and I know Guns Blazing actually just did a video on this deck.
Really?
Yeah, he did. He's a fan of Joey too.
What else is out there, Lucas? There's a few Rex Raptors I've seen.
Yeah, honestly, I think we're just getting really rogue at this point.
Yeah, Rex Raptors, Mako decks.
I think Rex Raptor and Mako, they're just easy enough to hit by just having a good deck.
Yeah. I'm just saying, they're good enough to get you up there a little bit, but probably not in the qualifiers.
Oh yeah, I mean, out of all these groups we're in, I've seen like one Rex King of Games. Okay. Yeah, like
I just saw him a lot in the ladder.
It's like if you're running a beatdown deck, why wouldn't you just run one where 3 of your monsters are Mystical Space Typhoon? So
I think that covers about everything.
So yeah, I think these decks we've mentioned are definitely the pillars, Harpies being the one that everyone has their eyes targeting.
You're decking to build
yeah. And I think what's going to end up happening is it just brings out a lot of Weevils to play. Weevil has some of the best matchups against Harpies, and Harpies really has to adjust their build to beat a Weevil.
Yeah.
And
tornadoes
and whatnot. And I think it can, but at the same time, I almost feel like people are going to switch decks to beat the Weevils, and we might have a circular meta.
We'll see once we hit the qualifiers, and then we'll see all the results, and we can get a full picture of what it all looks like right now.
Oh yeah, I wish we had some numbers to work with right now, like a KC report type thing that we could report on.
I'm sure we will afterwards. Yeah,
they definitely will. I hope so.
So you think that covers everything?
I think that covers everything. Anyways, tell us what you think. What decks you're teching to beat, how you're teching to beat them.
What you're facing in the ladder. If you've already made King of Games, go ahead and tell us what you made King of Games with.
Maybe if you use something unusual, maybe if you use something strictly meta.
I know there's a few surprise decks out there people are keeping quiet.
Oh, really?
I've heard. I mean, I don't know how good they are or what they're doing, but I've just heard some people are, like, YouTubers and whatnot are keeping their deck secret.
Oh.
But
I didn't see much of that. I saw it before, but now the final qualifiers
are out.
It
was mostly before, but apparently a few have still.
Yeah, and
secrets.
It was just everyone running a New Age Harpy deck. Yeah. But
anyways,
yeah, we'll see how. I just think we're gonna see a meta where Harpies keeps evolving until it just
dominates,
until it crushes the meta. It's been good, and with more traps.
Who knows? Maybe they'll add a new set here soon, and it'll change up everything, and this video will be so obsolete.
Ooh, if they add a new set before the final qualifiers, that would change everything.
That would be great, actually. That would be so much fun.
I'd actually enjoy that.
Yeah. Anyways, we're FoxHawk Gaming. Like, subscribe, comment, and we will see you guys next time.